Alright guys, so episode 5 is up and I'm super pumped and I'm going to jump right into it. But first I just want to say, do we not have the coolest fandom in the world? Like, I'm a big nerd. I got a bunch of different fandoms. I got different things that I'm a mega fan for. You know, as you can see, I got Ghostbusters, I got Star Wars, I got all of the Star Wars. I'm so bad at this mirroring thing still, guys. But I think that Wheel of Time fandom has to be the best fandom out there. I mean, it's like so much less bitter and jaded than especially like Star Wars fandom. Like, it is so painful to talk to grown Star Wars fans anymore so much of the time. It is especially, I'm gonna say it, guys, us men. Oh my god, fucking get it together. Like, just have fun with some shit every now and then. But like, I've had so much fun reacting to these and dealing with the community and watching other people's reaction videos and like looking at the comments on these videos, on everybody's videos, on my videos, on all the videos I'm watching. They're just so positive and just like giving. Like, our community just wants people to enjoy with us. We just want people to know things so that they can experience this in the same way that we are. And I love it. I just love it. I think that we're probably the best fandom out there. I don't know of a better fandom. There might be a better fandom. I don't know. I've never really hung out with any bronies, for example. But like, it's just so much fun. So much fun. So I really appreciate that. The second thing I was going to mention is, you know, you got to do your like and subscriber thing. I've never bothered to do that because honestly, I kind of thought I was just going to be like shouting into the void with this channel, but I'm just so excited about this show that I wanted to do it anyway. But your guys' reactions, especially to my last episode, have been so great. I mean, I was responding to comments. I was off the last couple of days, luckily, and I was responding to comments the whole time. Like, everybody's just so engaged, and everybody's got their theories and their points, and, you know, I'm just having a lot of fun with that. So I'm having so much fun. I actually went and built this room in my basement. This was an unfinished space 4 days ago. So I've built myself a little recording area now and nerdified it. Well, it'll keep going. It'll get better and better. Oh yeah, and I bought a mic too. I bought like a real, it's a Yeti. I was going to show you guys, but then I realized that the plugs are going back there. I'm not going to deal with it right now. But yeah, it's a much nicer microphone than I was using. Both my dogs are in here with me, so they're, you know, going to be in and out of the video. Hopefully they'll stay pretty quiet. But let's just go for it. Oh yeah, and I was going to say my subscriber thing. I had this whole little spiel written that I was trying to get together my 100 companions, which is what Luce Theron called the 100 companions. This is the breaking, so don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything, guys. So the 100 men that went with him to seal the hole in the bore was the 100 companions. But I just got 100 subscribers as of like 20 minutes ago. So, Ursa, stop, you guys. So, I just got 100 subscribers as of like 20 minutes ago. So, I guess I'm on my road for 200 companions now. So, let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, a whole month later? So they've all been apart for a month. And we got Rand and Matt. Oh, Matt, not looking so good, buddy.
What is it, you piece of...
Is that what I think it is? If you know, you know, but that stone behind them.
Mate, you're alright. You stop looking at me like you're my bloody wet nurse. Just tired. A month without a warm bed will do that.
You're a little more than tired, buddy.
That mountain. What? I don't know. I think I've seen it before.
Dragon mount? Wow. Yeah, I mean, that sure looks like Tar Valon to me. I dig this mix of styles. It's like a whole melange of architectural and cultural styles that makes up the city of Tar Valon.
Thank you.
The fourth dragon. Don't know anything about him, but we've been in the grass for months now.
Oh, yeah, he saw them before.
You can't
He's seen them one too many times now.
They're not your people.
They've eaten our food and shared our fire.
Do you want your new friends to suffer?
If they don't wish to go with you, you can't have them.
I can't. That's a strange word to be coming out of a tinker's mouth. How exactly do you plan on stopping me?
The two often are so idealistic.
Against the way of the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hurry this way.
Growth and cycle.
Did I just see a boot sticking out from behind that?
I didn't even hear you come in.
Loyal!
Stay back!
Oh dear, you humans are very excitable. First day in Tar Valon, I could not believe the uproar.
Okay, immediate impression.
Women screamed, and a mob chased me all the way
I can't
across
talk
the
over
city
this.
waving knives. I'm afraid I was almost beginning to get a little upset. I tell you, it was not for this I left the steady.
Okay, immediate impression. He's not exactly quite as large as he should be, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I saw a really nasty review about this. Crazy.
Steady. You're an ogre.
Ogier.
Yep. He's an Ogier.
Son of Arendt, son of Halan. And who are you?
Rand.
What a great voice. He's got a great voice.
Nathal.
Your name sings in my ear.
Sounds just like Loyal is supposed to sound.
It is quite exciting to meet an Aielman. I've read much of your people.
I'm
Aielman.
not an Aielman.
Really? Red hair is one of the few physical traits that can help you work out where a human is from.
I'm from the Two Rivers.
An Aielman from the Two Rivers?
An Aielman.
An Aielman from the Two Rivers who insists that he is not an Aielman.
Perfect. This guy's great. This guy's a great Loyal already.
I like oddities.
Okay, so they've just taken all the events that would have taken place in Camelin and put them in Tar Valon instead. There he was again.
Thanks for saving me.
Oh, okay. Are we about to have our little moment?
I'm bringing in the fourth dragon. They say he was a man who could channel. It drove him mad.
Those Aes Sedai are sitting awful close for them to be pelting them with fruit. Yep. He's the perfect casting. He's the perfect casting. Great. Oh, how nice of him to disinfect the knife. Anyone else hearing wolves?
Because we humans are meant to be of this earth.
So it happened.
To struggle and
So it happened.
for everything we
It happened, guys.
The Creator never meant for us to have access to so much power.
Sorry, I'm talking over his villain speech.
Make a mockery of our very existence. Walking like gods amongst men. The idea that the
Yes!
world comes from anywhere other than the dark.
Perrin Golden Eyes!
So I have been called.
But why? I went there and found the woman you spoke of.
Convenient.
Why the lights?
The braid is a distinct rite of passage in the
We thought you were dead.
Listen to him taking a tangent in the background.
In Perrin.
On our way, I think.
Show me your tongue.
Don't touch me! I'm sorry.
Little Bilbo in the ring moment.
Sleep, man. You need to rest.
Yeah, he needs a little more than rest. Got a little something.
You'll find me
Not
harder
quite.
to kill than that girl. Especially with a flame so small. In truth.
But that wasn't really her goal. It was to release Perrin Golden Eyes.
Protect me. What are you?
Help has arrived.
You won't hurt us.
How do you know?
Okay, but his eyes didn't stay gold? Oh, he knocked Lana out. So where'd he go? The stuff he got from Nynaeve. Got a missing dagger. Some sort of ritual suicide. Oof, in the guts and bled out. Ugh. I mean, this is a lot more emotion than you're gonna get from Lan in the books, but at the same time, you know, like, this is acting, you know? How are you gonna get a professional actor and be like, yeah, we want you to act like a statue for the next 10 years? You know, you gotta put a little meat on the guy's plate. And that's it, huh? Oh boy, that was 58 minutes. Boy, that did not feel like 58 minutes by any means. Alright, well, jeez. Alright guys, well, that was episode 5. not quite as much. It didn't feel like quite as much happened as has happened in a couple of the last couple of episodes. But you can't make every episode can't be more than the last one before it, or you hit a wall pretty fast there. But I thought that was a good episode. They filled out some more of the storyline of the Aes Sedai, and they made it make sense how we're still going to get our traditional storylines from the books, even though we aren't going to Camelin, because Camelin was really important, which is just a different city for people who didn't read the books. So, we still got Loyal, which is, yes, I think he looks great. I read I want to say it was like Vanity Fair or something. I read an article that was like really rough on the show, really rough, and they'd gotten like the first 6 episodes because they were, a reviewer before we'd ever even seen a single episode, and they just trashed it, up and down trashed it. And one of the things they specifically made fun of was that Loyal looked like something out of like a Kiwi sci-fi show, which I thought number one, he looks like an Ogier is supposed to, so maybe that person's never read the books or looked at the covers. But, he looks like an Ogier to me. I could use some pointier ears, but, that's like ticky-tacky bullshit. That's, if I were the director. But I think he looks great, and he's doing that's such a great voice, a deep, rumbling voice for Loyal. And he's already displaying his tendency to go off on tangents. You can see why this character is beloved to me. But, yeah, we got Loyal. We got the first look at Perrin Golden Eyes. So, yeah, you guys who think something's going on with Perrin, you are not wrong. Something's going on with Perrin. And I can finally say it now. There's no argument. The wolves are here to protect Perrin. All right? There's something going on with Perrin and the wolves, and the wolves are here to protect him. I can say that without a doubt. It's been shown to you very clearly. If you hadn't put it together yourself, sorry, I'm not really blowing anything for you. You're just not watching that closely. So that actually kicks open the door for me to talk about one of the things that I've got my little notes here from this week, guys, because I had things I wanted to talk to you guys about. So it's going to kick off my first topic. So this is where I'm going to get into borderline. I'm not going to call it spoilers, though. I'm just calling it ruminations, because sure, I have knowledge from the books that you guys don't have, but there's a lot going on in the show right now that is not in the books. And the largest thing that is not in the books that I'm sure you've already heard is that Perrin's wife was not in the books. And so people were upset that they brought in a wife for Perrin just to refrigerate her out real quick. That's an old trope, that happens a lot in fantasy or adventure books and movies and stuff, where you have a man and a woman has to die to make him care about stuff and be better. That's just an old kind of tired, played out trope. So people were pretty unhappy that they were bringing it into this. But I think there's actually a whole other layer to it than that, which is that I actually buy into this theory that's out there right now on the internet. I'm sure you've probably seen it, that Perrin's wife is a dark friend. Because the more you watch that scene, where she's standing and stuff, it literally doesn't make any sense. She's standing directly behind him, and she's got her hammer. We've seen her rocking the crap out of Trollocs with that hammer, right? Well, she's got it pulled all the way back like this, and she's standing right behind him. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched a Looney Tune before, but the through action from here comes down right on top of his head, and Perrin's not alive anymore after that with a blacksmith's hammer. I mean, that thing weighs, I'm like 30 pounds at least, 40 pounds at least. And she had it cracked all the way back. There's no Trollocs between him and her. He's on top of the last Trolloc. He's just killed it, right? And she's still, you could maybe argue she's getting ready to help him, but she's got no angle on that thing, all right? No angle. And she's overhead. She doesn't need to come down like this to help him. That would not be what you would do. So, and then that's just the first aspect. But then the next aspect, which is now also, again, I'm just freed up to talk about it because, yes, thank you, first golden eyes moment. The second aspect is in the dream. When Perrin's in the dream, right, as they've said, those dreams are, as you can see, they're it's not quite just dreams. They're pseudo-real at the very least. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to explain the major concepts or anything to you guys right now because that isn't important to the story at the moment, and I don't want to give anything away that might upset some people. But the dreams are really important, and they're also pretty real, right? We've seen the bats and all that. And something that we've also seen is that the wolves protect Perrin, right? The wolves protect Perrin. So when we're in the dream and you see a wolf eating someone who nominally Perrin should like, right, or should trust, hence why she's coming into the dream, that, to me, argues that that's someone Perrin shouldn't be able to trust, because the wolves are someone he can trust. They're here to protect him. So the wolves protect him in waking life and in dreams. That's all I can say about that. So anyhow, between those couple of factors, and then she says, like, I know, which could just be regular mystery stuff or whatever, but yeah, I think she knows who he is because she's been seeing it in her dreams. That also explains the whole scene, how it's very clear something's messed up with Perrin and his wife, how she's been acting off, why she doesn't go to Egwene's ceremony. Egwene's another one of the people she's been seeing, right? So that's my opinion. I'm of the pretty firm opinion that Perrin's wife is a dark friend. And I think there was like some interview out there where one of the producers was like, no, that's not true. But you can't trust what they say in interviews. They lie bald-faced if we already called them out on a plot line that's supposed to pay off in 7 episodes, and we got it in episode 2. What's my next thing? All right, so I think that in the last episode, we actually saw the first instance of one of the ta'veren using their ability. So this hasn't been explained to us well yet, and I'm sure they'll get around to it. But they have explicitly mentioned it multiple times in the show. Moraine said that there's a rumor, right in the first episode, there's a rumor of 4 ta'veren. So, to make that make sense to you guys, ta'veren are people that the pattern shapes themselves around, right? So, I've talked about the pattern on this channel before. Hopefully, you've seen a good explanation of what the pattern is by now. But these people are so important, so integral to what the pattern's doing, that as they move through the pattern, they make the other threads around them move in a way that is conducive to getting done what they need to get done. So, powerful ta'veren in the Wheel of Time will make people not make decisions they wouldn't make, but when you're in the presence of a ta'veren, you might positively make a decision in their favor that you might only make 1 in 1,000 times, right? If you have a 1 in 10,000 chance of doing some action that will benefit that person, you are far more likely to do it in their presence if they're a ta'veren. You're more likely to agree with them. You're more likely to come around to see their way of thinking. All right? And really powerful ta'veren can use this consciously. They can kind of Jedi mind trick people to a certain extent. And so, as we know, these young people from the 2 rivers are ta'veren. It's already been said by Moraine. So in the last episode, when there's that moment when Rand talks the farmer out of shooting them, there's the argument to be made that he just made a good argument and he talked the guy out of shooting him. That could be true. But another way to see that scene, with the knowledge I just gave you, if you want to go back and rewatch it, is that Rand senses things are going the wrong way, the way he doesn't want them to go, and he steps in, and with just words and the force of his personality, which is like a very real thing when it comes to shaping the pattern, making people make decisions, he changes the whole scenario, right? That guy goes from, I'm ready to kill you guys, to, yeah, sure, you can sleep in my barn, just cut some wood. Like that, right? I actually saw a few reactions where people laughed at that. And so that's actually why I wanted to bring this up, because I know it's a little bit on spoiler, it's verging on spoiler territory, but it's not integral to the plot, and it's already been mentioned. So I just feel like that's something that people should be looking for in the show going forward, and you can't look for it if you don't have that knowledge. And so I think that's the first moment of you seeing it happening in motion. You know, that might be something that they don't introduce knowingly until season 2 or something, but Rafe Judkins will be like, ha ha ha, well, you could see it in episode 4 of season 1 if you knew. And I just wanted to let you guys in on the know. Alright, what's my next thing? Okay, the Logang. Alright, that's a low level like group name I'm let's say workshopping for this channel. Do you guys like the name Logang? As in Logain's gang? Because, number one, Logain ain't a bad guy, guys. He's not a bad guy, alright? So, you need to understand his perspective, alright? Logain's a minor noble. He grew up educated. He can read. He can study. All that stuff, right? He finds out he can channel eventually. So, what's he do? He gets into reading the prophecies of the dragon. He says, if I'm a man that can channel, he knows he's going to go mad. That's the first thing. You know you're going to go mad. There's no way around it. Okay? So, what's the best possible outlook you could have if you find out you're a man that can channel? The best possible outlook is, okay, maybe I'm the guy who's going to save the world. Maybe I'm the guy who's going to stop the Dark One. Maybe the last battle's coming and the world needs me to be ready. And the only way that you can know that you're the dragon is to fulfill some of the prophecies. Okay? And I know they haven't told us any of the prophecies yet. You really only get bits and pieces of the prophecies, even in the books. You know, it's here and there. They never like say, here's the prophecies, right? Because it's books and books and books of materials and like philosophers arguing about them and all that. That's all the kind of stuff you would need to read to actually understand this, and it doesn't exist in real life. It only exists in Wheel of Time world. So you only get little bits of the prophecies. But there are a few fairly well-known prophecies that have to be accomplished. And one of the earliest prophecies that has to be accomplished is something that reasonably you need to have an army to do. So that's why a lot of these false dragons, the first thing they do is they throw up their banner and they say, I'm the dragon, and a bunch of people come to follow them because they think they might actually be going to join the man who's going to save the world and change everything. And they try to lead their army somewhere. I'm not gonna throw the names at you because we haven't gotten into all that yet. But they have to lead their army somewhere and conquer a certain thing. So that's just like a logical first step. So if you're watching that last episode, like, yeah, Logain seems pretty full of himself and all that. But, you know, if you found out you were Jesus, and you were also a magic Jesus who could throw fire and kill people with your mind, like, your ego might get a little out of control. Okay? And that moment, Alvaro Morte, beautiful job acting it. Beautiful job acting it. That moment when they gentled him, and he's crying, right? I interpret that as he's crying because now he knows he's not the dragon. That all of this has been in vain. That, you know, that, remember what the voices were saying to him about his family? Well, let's just say things didn't go down well with him and his family, because they tried to turn him in as being a man who can channel. And, so this guy's, he's given up a lot. He's sacrificed a lot. He's he really thought he was the Dragon Reborn. He really thought that he was talking to his past lives and that they were informing him what he needed to do. And in that moment when they gentle him, he knows that he's not the Dragon Reborn and that he's not going to save the world. And his whole purpose in his life goes out of him at the same moment as the power, which is compared to like the most addictive drug you could ever imagine. Like, once you touch it once, there's no way to stop using it. There's no possible way you could ever just not touch it again, because it's there all the time. You can't flush your stash when it's inside your head. So yeah, he's mourning a lot of things there, but in my mind, I think if you were to ask Alvaro Morte what he was mourning there, it's, Logain coming to terms with the fact that he's not who he thought he was, and that he's not the good guy, and that he's, gonna be gentled, and he's just gonna disappear, that he's not gonna be the man who changes history. Which, it's a delusion of grandeur, but it comes from a good place, and it's the only track this guy has open to him. He's not, you don't find out you're a man that can channel and then, just live a normal, happy life. He was not left with many options, and he just pursued what he saw as the best course of action. So anyhow, that's my Logain is not a bad guy, he was trying to save the world speech. Alright, so then there's one detail about Shadar Logoth that I think is really important to understanding exactly what's going on right now, that I think could have been mentioned. It just wasn't. It's, kind of an offhand thing. But the thing you need to know about Shadar Logoth is that during the Trolloc Wars, right, all of mankind, the Trolloc Wars are the 1,000 years after the breaking. For a whole 1,000 years, there were armies of Trollocs and Myrddraal and Dark Friends all over the world, right? And they were besieging all the major cities and stuff like that. And so mankind was really, at its extremes. And so one of the cities was Eredhall, which becomes Shadar Logoth, right? And so Eredhall, they had one high counselor who eventually talked to their king into going the direction of, oh, well, if we're going to defeat the Shadow, we have to be harder than they are. We have to be stronger than the Shadow is. We have to be willing to do worse things than the Shadow would do. So Eredhall becomes a place where, other human cities would rather see an army of Trollocs coming than see Eredhall coming to their defense against other Trollocs, because that's how dark these men in this city get. And so eventually they stop going out and helping the other men, and they just close themselves into the city, and then that's where the story that you were told takes over. But I just think it's important to note that, Eredhall, before it shut itself off, their ideology was darker than the dark. Alright? So it's not the same evil as Trollocs and Myrddraal. So when you see that fade, and it kind of looks like, that's why the Trollocs won't go into the city, right? They're scared of that evil. That's arguably a greater evil than the Dark One's evil. Okay? So when Matt goes in the farmhouse, now we know for sure Matt can't remember that happening. That was not consciously Matt who went into there. So that means the dagger had control of Matt, and it walked him into that house to hunt that fade. Because while the dagger is definitely evil, we can all clearly see that now. The dagger is very evil. But it also, the evil of Eredhall hates the evil of the Dark One. And that's just an important point to note for future reference. And I had to get it out there. Alright. So that's the end of my notes. And gosh, I'm having so much fun with this show, guys. If there's any notes you got for me, if I talk too much during the episodes, if I talk too much about book spoilers, there's always going to be book spoilers on this channel. I don't have that level of self-control. But other than that, guys, give me thoughts on what to watch other than this show, things like that. I never actually thought this channel was going to gain any traction, but you guys are just making this fun, and I just want to continue having fun with you guys. So we'll see you next time, and this is Elephant Rhino Enterprises signing off.